Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. Saka here with our next race in NASCAR Racing 2003 season. We are at the 1 mile concrete bull ring of Dover Downs International Speedway in our NASCAR Racing 2003-2000 Cup Modded Championship. We are here on the inside row. Brandon in that 28 Texaco Haviland car is a few rows in front of me on the outside groove, and it is the final round, well, the final race in the first round. This race determines who goes on to the top 12, so it should be pretty interesting. We have quite the buffer, but I don't want to screw this up. Green flag will be in the air shortly. Pace car is in. We want to make sure we get a good start here. Concrete is very difficult to start on. Green flag is in the air, and we sort of lost a bit. A little bit nervous about that start, but not too bad. Junior will settle right in line, and this is a very loose race car. I can't put a whole lot of wheel into it, but what this car lacks in corner entry, it can definitely pick up on corner exit when you can pivot the car. We'll be down here on the bottom. The leaders are getting single filed, and there's Junior 3 wide with us. We don't want to move up too far, but we will put Junior behind us, a fellow Chase competitor. The high line might actually work here. If you can get that good run, you can carry a whole lot of speed here. It looks like may do, and that 25 is not getting going. And after the last couple races, I am tired of staring at that 25 car. He finished last race with a mechanical failure, but he is tough no matter what. He is going for that win. But we've put him away. Outstanding. Now we've got some clean track. We can move around. We can experiment with a middle groove. We can run a high groove if we so choose. It's a 40-lap total race, and once again, the fuel will allow us to go past lap 20, but the tires may not. So Brandon and I are going to try to split this 20 and 20. So essentially 16 laps before we pit. Brandon fighting hard with Johnny Benson up there. Not a Chase contender. He could have been. Those 5 DNFs definitely took all the wind out of his sails. We'll see if Bobby Labonte can poke some of these holes for us. Brandon making up spots there behind Mike Skinner. We can get a good drive on the outside here of Bobby Labonte. If Johnny Benson in that Lycos Pontiac can get going, we too can get rolling. Matt Kinza fills the bottom. I want to try to stay on this high line, get that push off, and then maybe duck to the bottom here, but I've got quite the rolling roadblock in front of me. Hopefully, yeah, there goes Bobby. Now, Bobby Labonte is in a fight of his life for this particular race. He pitted with 2 laps to go at Chicago, dropping him basically out of Chase contention. But Bobby has a strong car. He hasn't won this year, but he's always nearly up front. So if something big happens, Bobby can eke his way into the chase. We'll have to look out for that later. We'll complete the pass on Bobby here. Car's starting to wash up just a bit. I missed my entry there, which affected my whole corner. But Ryan Newman sits in front of us, Tony Stewart in front of him. The leaders are really starting to space out, and I believe lap traffic will become a heavy factor in this mile race. It wasn't too much of a factor at New Hampshire, as there wasn't that big of speed disparity between the leaders and the lappers. But here at Dover, it seems like the lappers' tires fall off very quickly, bringing the leaders to them also fairly quickly. I'll try the high lane around Newman. The car washed up just a bit. It didn't have the bite. I'll diamond the corner, get a run down the banking, and pretty good recovery there. Let's nose in under Ryan Newman. We don't want to slide up. We'll keep our foot in it here, and around Newman we go. Washing up just a touch. Let's get out of the gas and out to the wall. We have a couple laps of daylight here before we catch up to Stewart, Skinner, and Marlin. All Chase competitors up here inside the top 10 that we're looking in, and the leaders are already in turn 4 and coming on the front straightaway. So we've got quite the uphill to climb for sure. However, I am fairly confident that we're catching these cars in front of us. We're clicking off consistent laps at 24.4 compared to our fastest 24.3. A 10th off, 10 laps into a run is not bad. And from practice, I noticed that the AI cars really start to fall off after lap 10. And you can see in front of us how big these cars are getting in our windshield. So we'll see if we can get through these guys fairly quickly. Tony Stewart will be the first to go. I think I want to try the outside line here. If we can just get our fender on the outside, we can push. All right, let's try the bottom. I think we'll be able to get him on the bottom. And we'll let Skinner come down. We won't go for a twofer on corner entry. But what we can do is on corner exit here, get to the outside. Skinner will not have the drive off to the wall that he needs. He'll slow down, and we can just ride this momentum around the high line. As long as we can stay by Skinner here, I think we got him on the exit, and we do. Drop Skinner back there, and we are now in the top 10 behind Sterling Marlin. All right. Good corner entry here, and as you can see, Sterling is not getting a good run off the turns. This is where we're really going to start to make up a lot of time. Our speed is best on corner exit. Sterling won't put much of a fight up, and Terry Labonte is in our sights. Those leaders are already, coming around, so we might be losing a little bit of ground to the leaders themselves, but we're definitely gaining here inside the top 10, which can set us up well for pit stops. Once we pit at the halfway mark, I am hoping that good things will happen like New Hampshire, where we can really start to make up a lot of spots and a lot of time and come out with a net sum, a net gain. Good run off of that turn there. Terry Labonte in front of us. I'll try to roll that high line. I like the momentum that I can carry on the outside here. There we go. Fender to his outside. Pushing up, and Terry Labonte cannot get his foot down, and around we go. We'll clear him, but I won't pull down in front of him quite yet. I see his headlights in the mirror, so I'll diamond the corner off and set for Mark Martin. Now, after Mark, we have quite a bit of work to do. We can run our race here and sort of compare our lap times. A 25.3 to a 24.3. We lost a second battling there. Coming around this time, we're consistent, but as you can see how much we caught up to Mark Martin, that means that we're not going faster, everyone else is going slower, and that is a really good position to be in. Yeah, Mark won't put up too much of a fight here, and we've got quite a bit before we catch up to Ward Burton. However, we are 5 laps away from our split the middle of the race pit stop. Scrape the wall just a bit. I don't think that's going to be too much, but what I do like to see is that lap traffic in front of us really going 2 and 3 wide, really blocking up the track for these guys in front of us. We can make up a lot of time. The harder they battle, the lines are taken away. That car there in front of Ward is forced to run the outside, which will pull us in very dramatically. Looking at these intervals, we go from 1.5 seconds back to only a half second back, so we can chop a second per lap off of these cars in front of us, which means we'll catch Ward about here on the back stretch. If the intervals are to be believed, we could have forced the issue, but I'll be a little bit more careful. We'll use that outside line to our advantage, and we have quite the cluster and gaggle right in front of us before pit stops. I really don't want to go fighting amongst those guys before the pit stop, but we are coming close to Jeff Burton, who is the next car for position, and he seems to be stuck. So all of the time that we lost, the quarter to a half a lap that we lost, we just gained it right back thanks to the slow poke Rodriguez of the lap cars here. Under Jeff Burton, looks like Elliott Sadler's trying to make it too wide. We'll get into Elliott a bit, force him up the track. That was kind of gutsy on these old tires. Elliott's pinching us down, but we will clear those cars. Outstanding. With next time by, we should be... No, let's pit this time here. Gordon, well, Gordon's coming down. If we weren't pitting, this would be the time to do it because Gordon all but stopped coming down to pit road. 2,500 RPM is the limit, and our pit stall is going to be right at the R in Dover, just past the start-finish line, looking for Bill Elliott's pit. And here we go. Let's go, 4 tires and fuel, boys. Let's get it done. All right, right sides are on. Left sides are coming on now. We've got a lot more traffic on pit road than we had at New Hampshire for sure. Looks like the AI is going for this 4-tire stop as well. We're clear, Junior. Looks like Brandon will get out right in front of us. he will get to the end of pit road. There's Ward. So we'll give that spot back. Jeff Gordon's right there. We could possibly make a move. Now, we do not want to go sliding up to the banking here. We'll ride third gear all the way around on the apron as best we can without spinning the car out. Hit fourth gear once we get up on the banking, and Bob's your uncle. Off we go. So we split the race in half. We do not have to come down to pit road anymore, and we have clear track in front of us. So let's make the best of it. We'll be shooting for Ward Burton to see what our interval is at the end of each lap, but there were cars for position on pit road, so our interval is not to Ward. But look at all the cars that we're passing down here on the bottom. Now hopefully they do stay on the bottom so we can use that high lane to our advantage. All right, looks like we can diamond the corner, come off under the Hill Bros car. Now, we won't get under him quite yet, but we'll make a pass of it. We'll get under him here. We do not want to waste time behind these lap cars. If we are stuck behind these guys, then that pit strategy goes right out the window, so we need to make quick of Robert Presley and that Jasper Engines Ford. All right, we go under and around. So we are in the top 5, coming back around. Ward Burton is the next car for position. And we can see him right there in our windshield, and he is struggling to pass that car there. If he can struggle to pass longer, then we can catch up to him quicker. He does complete that pass, though. So that car that he was struggling with, hopefully we won't have to be battling too much with it. But we really have to go for broke here. 16 laps to go. The leader will come around for 15 to go. 1 3/4 of a second to Ward. Now, we were making up a second a lap on Ward on those when he was on old tires. I don't think we're going to be within 3/4 of a second this time around, but I'm looking for a positive gain here from 1.75 down to 1.5. So 0.2 faster than Ward alone, essentially. These lap cars are going to determine how well we can get up to them. As long as they stay single file, they shouldn't pose too much of a threat. I think I can get them both on one straightaway if I catch them correctly. The 26 is right there. We'll catch him here. We might look to the bottom, or we'll run the outside. I think the outside will be the way to go. It kind of screwed up my entry. I was going to look low and then had to adjust high. Let's diamond the corner, get that run, and see if I can get under him by the turn. We do. The 01 Bell South car there. We'll try to stay right on his bumper until corner exit. Just like that, we'll make short work of him. We're staying 1.5 seconds behind Ward Burton fighting these guys, so we're not losing a whole lot of speed. Laps are clicking down quickly, though, at 13 laps to go. The leader should come around and take 12 to go. So we're a few laps away from the AI tires really starting to fall off, and I believe we're really going to start reeling them back in. Let's put Jeffrey Bodine down here. 1.2, so we were 0.3 faster. Ward had a little bit of trouble with the lap traffic. Looks like Brett Bodine in the 11 Ralph Supermarkets car is going to be our next combatant. And Ward is all alone, though, so we really need to run as fast or just a tick faster than Ward to really make this up. We are eating into his lead, though. We're about a second behind now. As long as we can clear the 11 without too much trouble here, which we will down the hill and around the corner. So it's just Ward and I. It's a shame we couldn't get out to the wall and really arc that corner, but he gave it up. I'm not going to complain here. Let's see if we're within a second now. Almost. I mean, just hundredths of a second difference. But I believe this is like the magical lap that the AI tires are really going to start to fall. But unfortunately, I don't see anyone in front of Ward Burton. These 10 laps may be kind of dreary. I have to really hope that lap cars really start losing their tires, that they really start coming back to me here. Oh, nice corner here. I like that exit right there. That's really what's going to draw us to Ward Burton if we can pull off some more corners like that. Yeah, we're going to make up a lot of time here. he's going to start dropping back. I just hope we have enough time. We're running 4th. Passing Ward will put us in 3rd place. Yeah, we are right on Ward now. I don't want to lose a whole lot of time to him. I know we are much, much faster. I think I'll get him here on the bottom. Come on, car pivot. There we go. Under Ward. We shouldn't lose too much time. We'll roll out, make sure we don't slide up on him. He's riding our door fairly tight, but back he goes. And now it's eyes forward. As fast as I can, I'm pushing this thing as hard as I can. We've got 4.3 seconds to make up. Now, if this was essentially, you know, where we were before pit stops, we'd only need 4 laps to do it. But I do not believe that we will be that fortunate this time around, especially if Brandon is mixing it up there like it looks like. 4.1 to Brandon. We made up a little bit of time, so I imagine we are the fastest car on the track. We just have to make up all this time. They're getting bigger. Every time I come off turn 2, it feels like they're pulling back to me like a tractor beam. Time may run out, but I am not going to give this up, especially since I can see some more lap cars there fighting amongst themselves. Jeff Gordon is now our guy, and 3 seconds. So it looks like Brandon has caught and passed Jeff Gordon, and Gordon is going to be our next 4 position. And he isn't that far in front. I think in 5 laps I can make up 3 seconds, especially if he has trouble in traffic or his tires really start going off, and it looks like that traffic up there is 3 wide. Jeff is not going to be able to navigate that traffic well, I do not think. So we'll have to go around this green car in order to get to Jeff Gordon, and he is going to be running right in the middle of this pack. We've definitely caught them. So coming around here, looks like 3 laps to go. We're going to really be pulling in here. Kenny Irwin Jr. in that Bell South car. Gordon's fighting with Darrell. I wish Darrell would have gave him a hard time, but we're not going to lose any time getting around the 42 or the 66. Darrell is going to let me go. Oh, that was big. If Darrell Waltrip came down, I do not believe I could have caught Gordon, but we are right here ready to go. 1.39 down to 0.3, and we're here. What am I going to do? Around the outside isn't going to work. The 14's there. Maybe I can get Gordon off a corner exit. Gordon gets a good run on that corner. I think he realizes I'm there. Into Jeff just a little bit, coming around for the white flag. We're going to be around Gordon. Let's see if we can catch Brandon here. White flag is in the air. 1.5 seconds. There's Brandon there, drifting up to that high line right in front of that green car. If it's a shame Brandon wasn't tied up. But he's right there on the bottom, going into turn 3 now. Let's go for broke. Let's split the middle. Let's go for it. Oh, I needed Brandon to slip up right there. So Brandon's right there, but we closed between 1.5 to 1.1. We closed up 4/10 there. What a race, but that will be win number 2 for Brandon. He didn't need it in order to advance in that round in the chase, but what that did is effectively guarantee that no one other than Brandon and Gordon were going. Oh, hello, fuel light. Okay, so pit stops might have been cut just a little close. I can tell you I was on the gas as much as I could be. It's no wonder that that fuel was all used up. But good to see Brandon win. Let's go ahead and get in our pit stall and take a look at that last lap and see how close that was in traffic. That felt really close. It felt like something I didn't absolutely need to do. There you go, 19 cars on the lead lap. Everyone finishes the race. But let's take a look here. Brandon's doing his victory celebration. Let's go ahead and get to my car and then take a look at that last lap and see if I can see when we caught him. See if we are catching Brandon. Matter of fact, let's take a look at that battle with Gordon. So we are right there behind Gordon, looking outside, inside. We're going to get a run here, and we're going to get into Jeff just a bit on corner entry here. It looked like Jeff Gordon got a better launch off of that corner, into him a little bit. It looks like it sort of kept him above the track so we could get a fender in there. We completed the pass on corner exit, which is what we really needed. Looking to the inside, though, you can't really see Brandon until right there. We have 4 cars to pass. Buckshot Jones pulls over, essentially. And we get around Elliott Sadler, and this is where we make the bonsai. We sort of push up, punch the middle. Didn't quite get up there. We needed a few more laps, I think, and we needed some trouble from Brandon in order to take that win. But second isn't bad. Speaking of Brandon and second, let's take a look at the chase grid going into the round of 12. So Brandon with 2 wins, Gordon with 1. I was 45 points to the good. Earnhardt was a whole race. Then it got a whole lot more tight, especially down there with Sterling Marlin, only 2 points. That's 2 positions on the racetrack ahead of Terry Labonte. But Mike Skinner down 8. Bobby Labonte misses this year's chase by 12 spots. 12 spots that he lost on pit road at Chicago made sure he did not go on. But there are your top 12. Charlotte, Kansas, and Talladega are the next races that define it. And from here on, each round, we're even Steven. Everyone is tied in this bracket. So it should get dicey, should get interesting. A win is oh so important. But that's going to do it for me in this episode. Ladies and gentlemen, like, share, and subscribe if you are so bold. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you next week for the next round at Charlotte. Take care.